46 past the hour, cloudy day. Capitol Hill this morning, the House Energy and Commerce Committee continues its marathon session on proposed Medicaid cuts that will be included in the Republican Party's sweeping domestic policy bill. Let's bring in House Minority Leader, Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries of New York. It's good to have you on, sir. Tell us about those cuts. How will Americans be feeling them?
Well, good morning. House Democrats are working hard through the night, both on the Energy and Commerce Committee and the Ways and Means Committee, to push back against this GOP tax scam, where they are trying to enact the largest Medicaid cut in American history, north of $700 billion. And independent observers have confirmed that if the Republicans are successful in passing this GOP tax scam, then approximately 14 million people will actually lose their health coverage. Hospitals will close, nursing homes will shut down. This really is a matter of life and death, and it's all being done to try to enact massive tax cuts for MAGA billionaire donors like Elon Musk. It's shameful.
Leader Jeffries, I'm also looking at deep into this bill at proposed cuts to SNAP. That's food assistance for people across the country, red states, blue states, white, black, Latino, you name it. $300 billion cuts proposed. What would be the impact of that?
Republicans are literally ripping food out of the mouths of children and seniors and veterans. About 20% of the households that have veterans living in them right now rely upon SNAP. And in addition to trying to jam this massive cut to health care down the throats of the American people, this would be the largest cut to nutritional assistance in the history of the United States of America. And so Republicans are really pushing an extreme agenda at this point in time, directed by Donald Trump. And unfortunately, what we've seen is that Republicans in the Congress continue to simply be a rubber stamp as opposed to standing up for the best interests of their constituents.
Leader Jeffries, there's so much going on around the country and so much news coming out of this administration that perhaps this bill is not getting the attention you may feel it deserves. I know there were protesters and some people were arrested up on Capitol Hill this week. How can you make Democrats and Republicans who could lose in red states and rural areas as well from this bill, how can you make them more aware and get their voices heard so that changes could be made to the bill?
Well, these cuts are deeply unpopular across the country, and we're seeing that in district after district after district. One of the reasons why Republican House leaders have told their members to stop holding town hall meetings is because the American people in blue states and swing states and red states have been showing up protesting these proposed cuts to their health care, these proposed cuts to their nutritional assistance, the efforts to hurt veterans. And so we just have to keep the pressure on. We're in a more is more environment. We're doing town hall meetings in our districts and town hall meetings in Republican districts. Rallies and speeches and demonstrations and sit-ins. We'll continue to elevate for the American people the stakes of this battle. And all we need is to find 4 Republicans who are willing to do the right thing, and we can stop this extreme budget from being enacted.
Leader Jeffries, let me circle back to an issue that we were talking about more a month ago, and I'm just curious what Congress is doing, what Congress can do, what Democrats can do about USAID. We have a situation where you have the richest billionaire in the world slashing funding that's going to ultimately take food out of the mouths of the poorest children on the planet. Now, USAID, obviously, it was a congressionally mandated agency. You all authorized the spending, you appropriated the spending, and I'm just curious, when does Congress circle back? Because I know there are a lot of Republicans on the Hill that don't want PEPFAR cut. This Bush program that was inspired by his faith, his evangelical faith, saved over 25 million lives in Africa. We could talk about Catholic charities, Baptist charities, a lot of cuts, both secular and religious charities helping the poorest across the world. What can Congress do to make sure that funding starts back up?
Well, Joe, as you know, the Constitution gives Congress generally and the House specifically the power of the purse. And as the appropriations process begins at the conclusion of this Republican budget reconciliation effort, we're going to have to strongly push our Republican colleagues to join us to make sure that congressionally mandated funding, including as it relates to USAID, which helps the best interests of the United States of America. It's the right thing to do. It's a moral outrage that these funds have been cut, but it's also a strategic outrage because what the Trump administration and Elon Musk are doing are undermining the soft power of the United States of America. And if we don't step in to battle these humanitarian situations that are happening across the world, China will step in, and that's bad for the national security of the United States of America.
House Minority Leader, Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries of New York, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We appreciate it.